Few characters in the world of classic television are as recognizable as Lurch, the endearing butler from the Addams Family, and today I will be discussing Ted Cassidy, the man who brought the towering butler with a heart of gold to life. Theodore Crawford Cassidy was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on July 31st, 1932. Raised in West Virginia, Ted was an exceptional student and athlete, but his true passion was for acting. Ted attended West Virginia Wesleyan College before transferring to Stetson University in DeLand, Florida, where he played basketball and was active in the student government. He graduated with a degree in speech and drama. Ted married his college sweetheart Margaret in 1956. The couple moved to Dallas, Texas, where Ted found a job as a midday disc jockey on WFAA radio. On November 22, 1963, Ted reported on the assassination of President John F. Kennedy and was one of the first people to interview key witnesses Bill and Gail Newman. Ted was diagnosed with acromegaly, a rare disorder caused by an abnormally high level of growth hormone. Ted was a big man, standing at 6'9" and weighing almost 300 pounds. And this is why he decided to jump in the car and drive to California when he saw an ad for an open casting call specifically seeking tall men. And it was through this casting call that he won the role of Lurch in the 1964 ABC television show The Addams Family. The Addams Family originated from the imagination of cartoonist Charles Addams and was first introduced as a one-panel cartoon in the New Yorker magazine. Lurch is a physically imposing character who plays the harpsichord and serves as a family's butler. Despite his intimidating appearance, Lurch is gentle and kind-hearted and always goes the extra mile to take care of the eccentric members of the Addams family. His catchphrase, "a deep and resonant you rang," has become synonymous with his character, adding even more to his endearing charm. And Ted also played the character of the disembodied hand known as Thing. At least he did most of the time. Whenever Lurch and Thing had to appear in the same scene, the associate producer would lend his hand to the character. Thing would often pop out of various containers around the house. And Thing was always ready to assist the family too, whether by retrieving the mail, lighting cigars, or pouring tea. Thing was billed as itself in the closing credits, and on the front gate of the Addams house is a sign that says, "Beware of the Thing." Lurch became a popular character. In 1965, Gary Paxton even released a song called The Lurch, which featured Ted. However, after the first season, Ted became more aware that people no longer saw him as an actor playing a particular role. They started to see him as Lurch, and this began to bother Ted as he had already faced challenges getting the parts he wanted, and he was concerned this role would further typecast him as an actor only capable of playing giants or monster-type roles. And according to his co-star John Astin, Ted really just wanted to play the role of Hamlet. The Addams Family premiered on September 18, 1964 at 8:30 p.m. Eastern and ran for 2 seasons before being canceled. After the cancellation, Ted was hopeful that he would get more challenging roles, but when you look at his extensive resume, you realize he spent most of his time in the entertainment industry voicing characters on various animated TV shows. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, there is something charming about people who narrate, don't you think? But I guess it struck me because I know he longed for a different trajectory. And I grew up in the 1970s, And I realized Ted lent his voice to many cartoons I remember from my childhood. He voiced Frankenstein Jr. on Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles, Meteor Man on Birdman and the Galaxy Trio, the Giant on the TV movie Jack and the Beanstalk. He can also be heard on Dinky Dog, Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, The Adam Ant Show, Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle, Yogi's Space Race, The Flintstones, and the 1978 animated series Godzilla, and also sometimes as Officer Big Mac in McDonald's commercials. He also made appearances on quite a few non-animated television shows too. He was on the Beverly Hillbillies, Mannix, I Dream of Jeannie, Bonanza. He was on 20 episodes of The New Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. And he was 3 times on Star Trek, where he played a different character each time. He also played Harvey Logan in the 1969 20th Century Fox Western Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which was the top-grossing movie of 1969. Ted played the character of Lurch once again in Hanna-Barbera's animated television series The Addams Family, which aired on Saturday mornings in 1973, but the show was brief. It only ran 16 episodes. He would reprise his role once again as Lurch in the 1977 made-for-TV movie Halloween with the New Addams Family, which reunited most of the original cast members, except for Grandmama Blossom Rock, who was too ill to participate. Ted was the narrator for the opening credits on the CBS television show The Incredible Hulk, and he also voiced the Hulk in the first 2 seasons of the show, but Charles Napier later took that over following Ted's untimely death. In December 1978, Ted had surgery to remove a benign tumor from his heart. The surgery was considered successful, and he was discharged from the hospital, but unfortunately, he started to experience complications while recovering at home and had to be readmitted. Ted passed away on January 16, 1979, due to cardiac arrest. He was only 46 years old. Ted left behind a son and a daughter whom he shared with Margaret. He also left behind his fiancée, actress Sandra Griego, and they had planned to marry in May of the same year. In March of 1979, Sandra gave an interview in which she revealed that Ted had premonitions of his death, and he told her that if he died, he wanted a traditional Irish wake, and she fulfilled his request. Ted was cremated, after which his remains were scattered. And that's a brief look into the life and career of Ted Cassidy. I recently watched an interview in which Sandra spoke very fondly of Ted. He seemed like a genuinely kind and wonderful person, and he was taken far too soon. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and leave me a favorite Addams Family memory in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.